YouTube. Well, hello everyone. Happy Thursday. I was here last night and I'm back again. And I actually have my set is all decorated for Halloween. So last night we did cover the House of Usher, the fall of the House of Usher. But tonight I have such a treat for all of you. I have with me my guest, William Swift. He is a collector of like costumes and props from TV shows and movies. He has somewhere upward of 500 plus costumes in his collection, and his goal is to eventually open up a museum, like a fantasy museum, which is amazing. So, William, thank you so much for joining me.
Of course. Thanks for having me.
And as you can see, William has a beautiful setup behind him. He's got a tea or a coffee going.
I
You look
do.
lovely as well. By the
Thank you.
way, I every time I see pictures of you, you're always very styling.
Oh, thank you.
Well, anyway, so as people start to come in, and if you guys have any questions for William, if you have anything you want to ask him, just let us. Oh, hey, Carl, just let us know, and I'll bring those questions toward. I'll put them up, and then William hopefully can answer them. So I just pressed the wrong button. That's why I got flustered there. Let me see if I can go back here. Here, I want to go back to comments. There we go. So what we're going to do is before we get going, we're going to go through a bunch of costumes. But before we do that, I'm just going to ask William a few questions just so we can get to know him a little bit. Is that okay, William?
That's great. Yeah. Shoot away.
Okay. All right. Well, I met you. You emailed me. I think actually you posted on one of my videos, and then I said, "Hey, why don't you shoot me an email?" And you did, and so we started chatting and everything.
Mhm.
So I'm learning a little bit about you, but why don't you tell everybody a bit about yourself? And like I know you're a very creative person.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. My name is William Swift, and I am a Minneapolis-based costume designer and event planner and many other things, but those are kind of my main titles. And I collect movie memorabilia. Specifically, I collect fantasy costumes and props with the occasional period piece here and there. It fights my fancy.
Yeah, and like just going through everything, I noticed most stuff has been, at least in your collection, from what I can tell, is within the last 20 years or so. Like you don't have anything that's like you don't have too much that's really old, do you?
No, not yet. I don't think so. I think my oldest thing is probably circa 2003, I think, maybe, with like the Enchanted stuff, I think, maybe.
Yes. Okay. So now, like, there's this other guy I watch called Curiosity Inc. He's a collector out of Edmonton, and he said he started as a little kid collecting. Did you start as a kid,
Mhm.
or is this something that you've always done?
No, it's that's a really funny story. I mean, I never knew that like I could own these things until very recently, to be honest with you. My first prop that I ever owned was a little goblet from Once Upon a Time that I found on eBay after the show ended because I was so sad. I needed something physical from that world. And then from there, I just kind of fell into a collecting black hole, and every penny that I have goes into collecting more stuff. But I remember when I was a kid, I don't know if you ever got like DVDs, specifically like the Harry Potter DVDs always came with like a little pamphlet of stuff from this thing called the Noble Collection, where they made like replicas of like all of the props and stuff. And I always thought it would be so cool to like own the replicas. And I remember like kind of growing up on that idea and kind of being like, oh, like when I get money, I'm gonna get all these like replicas. And little did I know that I'd have some of the actual things someday.
That's amazing, it's funny because many of the things that are in your collection I see
Mhm.
replicated, right? I just want to say
Yeah.
hello to Cool Gamer. Hello, Natural Selection, and Carl is here too. And as people come in, guys, if you have any questions for William, as well, as long as he's able to answer them, I will put them to him. So my next question is now, where are you? Are you in your home?
I am in my home. Yeah.
Where do you keep everything? That's my big question. That was in my first question that I
Uh,
got.
literally my entire house, basically. My house is more or less a film museum right now, as is. I don't. It's usually not all directly behind the couch, but I kind of pulled everything over here for you specifically today.
That's amazing.
But
Hi,
but
Justin.
yeah.
Justin's here as well. Yeah, Carl's saying that quite a lot of folks buy, trade, recreate film accurate costumes. Adam Savage from Mythbusters is a big pro costume guy. Yeah,
Mhm.
absolutely. Do you know him? Do you know Adam Savage?
I do know Adam Savage. Yeah, I always watch his reviews of some of like the upcoming prop store items that he'll go into prop store and kind of like you, he'll interview them and work with them
Yeah,
for
it
the
was
next
funny.
op.
I made a joke when I was chatting with them. I said, "So does Adam Savage just sort of show up, at your place?" And I just sort of said it as a joke, and they were like, "Yeah, actually, he does. He just sort of shows up. Hi guys, I want to talk to you about this motorcycle
Uh-huh.
from Batman or something."
Hmm.
Now you're not into. No, are there things that you won't collect? Like, so I know costumes, props, but like bigger items, I suppose you're not really interested in those types of things because you don't have
You know,
space.
it's not also, just about space. It's also about finances. Like I'm not
Mhm.
rich by any means. So, getting, bigger pieces is hard, be it physically or just like franchise wise. The biggest prop I own is I have a full like 9 foot chariot from Vikings, which is pretty cool. And
Oh
that's,
my god.
yeah,
Well, and also
that's
the
pretty cool.
horse armor, which I
Sure.
have a
Yeah.
picture of here. Let me just grab it. Um, you have a full set of horse armor from, you said this is the only thing you have from Warcraft, though, right?
It is. It's the only thing so far that I have from Warcraft. And I work with horses a lot for photo shoots, so I
Oh, you
figured that
do?
this would be really cool. Yeah, I do really elaborate photo shoot events for people, and this seems like a really good investment to get this. And I actually got this for a pretty good deal, and it's just really beautiful and pretty. And
It is. And then it
no,
even came with, did it come with the actual like horse?
I wish.
Oh, okay. So how do you,
Yeah. No,
so how
I
do you
didn't.
store that then?
So right now it's just in a box in my basement right now. So
Oh, okay.
I brought it out
So
for
that
an exhibit this year, but
Oh, okay. So that's a good question then. Do you like so some of your collection, do you rent it out for parties or for
um,
displays or things like that?
mm, I don't rent them out well, I rent some of the cheaper stuff out. Like these guys I'd never rent out.
Yeah.
Anything like super noticeable or iconic, I won't. But
Mhm.
when shows end, usually they liquidate everything. So it's really nice, for what I do for work to be able to get really high quality stuff really cheap.
Yeah.
So
So do you like you've been how many years do you think it's been since you've been collecting?
my first piece was January 2019. So it's almost
Oh, so
five
it's not
years
even
now.
that long ago.
No,
Wow.
yeah.
So, I mean, like, I don't even understand. I mean, you said you can't afford certain things, but even what you
Hmm.
have, I mean, it's got to be worth like, hundreds of thousands of dollars. I'm not
It
saying you paid
is, which
hundreds of
is
thousands.
I probably did. I mean, after a
Oh
while you
my
stop counting.
lord.
But
Yeah.
but yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's really all about being online at the right time. And I do a lot of payment plans. That's kind of how I'm able to get some of these bigger pieces, like Katniss over here.
Okay.
That was like a year-long payment plan because she was
That's so
so
awesome.
expensive.
Do you so while we have those outfits there and some of the smaller props, do you want to
Sure.
just do a little show and tell with those items? I can put you
Sure.
I do have a spooky background. Yes, it's for Halloween. I put up some cobwebs. I put up some lights. I have a giant spider here. I don't know if you can see it though, but anyway, but I'm going to yeah, Carl, you weren't here last night. We did a live stream, so that's why I have it. But so what I'm going to do is focus on William, and William, you're just you don't have to take a long time on this, but do you want to just do a
Sure.
quick little go through of what you have there?
Sure, yeah. So these are some of my more iconic pieces that I have in my collection that I thought would be cool to kind of put on display behind me. So over here we have Katniss's wetsuit from the Hunger Games Catching Fire, which is really cool. And she's pretty new to the collection. And then we have Miss Anne with an E here. Um, her iconic little her little outfit from the first season.
Mhm.
Um, and
Did you
then
get the
right
boots?
behind my
Did you get the boots with it as well, or did
I
you just add
didn't.
those?
I just added them.
Well, you know what? You did a
Yeah,
really great job because I didn't know that
thank you.
I didn't know those weren't like it looks. And what about the straw hat? Did you have to get that as well?
That's I did, yeah.
Yeah.
And that's also not her hair either.
Yeah. Well, and that's the other thing. You have all these mannequins. So while you've been
I do.
collecting all these collections, you've been having to, oh, we lost him. Oh, there he is. Oh, you're back. I lost you for a second.
Oh
Okay.
no.
But no, I was going to say also, you've had to buy mannequins as well and
Yeah,
displays for everything. So
yeah.
that's been quite a lot of work.
It is, yeah. Well, and this year doing my first exhibit, I really had to pour a lot of finances into the assets to display the stuff.
Hmm.
So a lot of mannequins, a lot of display cases, a lot of stands for the mannequins to go on, so they're just not on the floor. But it looks really nice now, and yeah, so
Yeah, no, it looks amazing. And so you have
mhm.
ants, and then who's I see Pan there, or sorry,
Yeah, we have Peter Pan back
Peter Pan.
there.
Yep.
And then back there we have Maleficent's costume from Mistress of Evil. And then I have a little Wonka bar over here. And
Yeah,
then I
I
have,
noticed that right away.
yeah, super iconic.
Yes.
Um, and then I have Anne's little, I don't know if you remember this, but this is her little potato light from
Oh,
Anne
yes.
with an E.
Yeah, of
Yeah.
course.
And then this sword here behind me is Aragon's sword from Aragon.
Hmm.
Um, and then over here I have a acceptance letter from Harry Potter. And then Wolverine's claws there from one of the X-Men films. Um, and then the Tablet of Achman Ra from Night at the Museum, which is really
Oh,
cool.
so awesome.
Hmm And then I have two props here from Once Upon a Time. This here is that cup there, that's the chip cup from Once.
Hmm.
And then the True Love potion egg from the first season, which was a pretty big MacGuffin. And then I don't know if you can see it here, but this here is Anne's love letter from Gilbert from Anne with an E.
Oh, okay. Well, I think we have a close up of that. We can show after.
Oh, sure, sure, sure.
Yeah, we can go
And
through that.
then so obviously, last but not least, we have Belle's costume hair from Once Upon a Time, and
Mhm.
then Peter from Narnia, and George Weasley from Harry Potter, which is kind of my crown of my collection, I think.
Absolutely. Yeah. Now the Wonka bar, that must be from is it the Johnny Depp?
It is, yeah.
Yeah, the
Hmm
Depp one. Yeah,
Yeah.
because it's a more recent one. But and they're kind
hmm
of it's so is there actual chocolate inside of it that you haven't
There,
opened it?
so funny story. So the wrapper itself is from the film, and
Okay.
I may or may not have gone to Target and bought a candy bar to put the wrapper in.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. Yes. That's very
A
clever.
lot cheaper.
So
Thank you. Thank you.
yeah, so I love how so you're saying if you got an incomplete costume, you've tried to complete it. Like for instance, we were talking about Charming from Once Upon a Time, and I was
hmm
like, oh, the pant color is different, and you're like, because that's when that jacket, I guess you wore pretty much every season, right?
He did, yeah.
And then oh, I'm assuming there probably were multiples of it, but
Yeah.
you ended up
hmm
getting one of them. So anyway,
Yeah.
do you want to go through some of the pictures?
Sure. Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So William and I have been working on
A very
showing you guys
extensive list.
a very extensive list. Why did Warcraft and then my pictures keep moving? I'm just going to blame the software. Okay, so we showed
Sure.
you this one. We showed you Warcraft. So this you have this one little item.
I do.
I don't know this movie, but I was thinking I think my kids would really like it. It's called Luck of the Irish.
Yeah, so this is a necklace from a film called Luck of the Irish, which was a Disney Channel movie that I just absolutely adored as a kid.
Hmm.
And I was lucky enough to be able to find this necklace um, on eBay of all places, randomly, and it was an instant purchase. And yeah, it's crazy that I have that now in my collection. But it was a pretty big movie back in the day on Disney Channel.
I'm assuming it's like an enchanted piece of some kind, like it's in the story,
It is,
like
yeah.
a
So
lucky Irish
basically,
coin.
yeah, and he loses it and he loses his luck. And so he kind of spends the
Oh,
movie trying to get his coin back so that he can regain his family's luck. And it's, yeah.
oh,
So,
Neil Gaiman stole that in American Gods.
it's funny because I also have that coin as well.
Oh my God,
So
you do? That is
I
so cool. I
do.
love that show. So that's
Yeah,
really awesome.
I have some of the costumes from that too, but no one's ever seen it, so I didn't even mention it.
Yeah. No one's seen American Gods that you know of?
Not that
I
I've met really.
I reviewed season 1 on my channel. I
Oh,
loved it.
sure.
Yeah. Season 2
Yeah,
wasn't too bad. It just sort of kind of started to go off, I think. I wasn't as
sure,
crazy about it. So and then Robin Hood, which I actually haven't seen. I did want to see it. It was just I haven't seen it. With
sure.
who's the actor who's in it? He's really well known.
Taron Egerton.
Yeah, isn't he great? I
Hmm.
just love him.
I love him. Yeah.
Yeah. So there he is in his iconic costume. Now, this
Hmm.
show, one of the things I noticed when the pictures came out originally, I thought it was, fairly anachronistic. Like, they've really sort
Hmm.
of done a slightly like it's not medieval. They've
No,
kind of
it's very
got
modern.
it's very modern. Yeah, exactly. So did you like that aesthetic about the show? About
I
the
did, and it really reminded me of Knight's Tale, where like they
Oh,
took modern inspiration of the day and weaved it
yeah.
into a period kind of look, which I really just kind of loved about A Knight's Tale. Um, so yeah, it's very interesting
Do
costume
you
design wise.
do you own any of the other costumes that are in this picture besides Robin?
Yeah, so these are all mine.
Oh,
Yep.
they are
Hmm.
all yours. What's the one with
Yep.
the red? That must be the
So
female.
yeah, that's Maid Marian.
Oh, that's Maid Marian. Okay, so
Yep.
it's
And
definitely got
then
like a modern twist to it.
yep. And then that coat there is the Sheriff of Nottingham.
Okay, and then those are the that's the armor because it's Jamie. Who's the other actor who's in it? Who
Jamie Foxx.
Jamie Foxx? Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, I will check it out because especially now that I know you have the costumes. So
Hmm.
next we have Peter Pan. Now this I don't. This was like is this a British movie or a show?
No,
I didn't
well,
see it.
it wasn't a British film, I don't think. It was made by, God, I think it's a Fox film. Don't
Oh,
quote me on
okay.
that though. But
This costume is really beautiful. Like, look at these close-up details of it. It's really stunning.
yeah, this you should watch this movie. It was really, 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 really good, and is, in my opinion, is one of the best Peter Pan adaptations of all time.
Wow, that's really high
Yeah.
praise.
Hmm. Bar none to Hook, of course, but
Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah. So next, another movie I have never seen is Aragon. Is this a show or a movie?
this is a movie based on a
Okay.
book series.
Oh, okay. I have
Hmm.
to say, I absolutely love these pants.
I know, aren't they
Like,
fun?
they're like, are they lowrider? Like, are they as
They
low as they look?
are. They are. They are lowrider leather
Like,
pants.
you could wear these.
You could, yeah. Which is funny because I mean they would have filmed this I think in like 2000, like early 2005. So it is like
Yeah.
lowrider period for sure.
Totally, and I love the lace front.
Yeah,
So it has a bit of a medieval feel, but a little bit contemporary at the same time.
yeah, yeah,
That's really fun. I really like that piece. Yeah, that's the only thing you have from, that movie, is that correct?
yeah. That and then his sword.
And his
Hmm.
sword. Oh, which you
Yeah,
have behind you? Is that the one you have behind you, right?
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Hmm.
So next we have The Cat in the Hat. You have Thing 1. What happened to Thing 2?
I don't know. They broke up.
Oh dear. Yeah.
Yeah,
So actually, and you know what I loved about this is when you have this close up of the applique. I think it's an applique.
yeah.
I love the way that they did that with the
Hmm.
stitching. That is so
Yeah.
cool. Like, you would not know that just looking at it, but I thought that was a really lovely detail.
Hmm.
And now
Yeah, that's a fun costume.
just looking at when you have your displays, I noticed, do they send you artwork as well, or do you come up with that artwork?
No, I make that. Yeah.
Make
Hmm.
that. That's
Yeah, I make the
amazing.
signage. Yeah. Thank you.
I was actually when we were chatting on the weekend, I'm going to send you a link to that I use for a lot of the pictures because they have
Sure.
really super high res. I'm going to send you a link to that if in case because
Please.
they do have a lot of fantasy shows on there, like Once Upon a
Sure.
Time is now. So
For sure.
next, so Black Sails, which I've spelled like SALES for some reason. But I know it's supposed to be black sails. You just have this
Hmm.
one costume. What I loved about this one, the fabric, it kind of reminds me of like ECAT. Do you know like that type of African
No.
type of
Oh,
print?
yeah. Yes, 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 yes.
It kind of reminds me of that really, really beautiful
Well,
fabric. So
that makes sense because they
yeah.
filmed in South Africa, actually. So they probably saw
Oh,
that. Yeah.
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 And it's funny because the costume designer of that, I like not I don't know if it was that season, but he ended up going on to do The Witcher, and then he only did season
Oh,
one, and then he
sure.
left. But I love his designs. Like I think he's just
Yeah.
fabulous. So
Love to get more of his work from Black Sails, but Black Sails stuff is really hard to get.
is it really? That's
He,
interesting.
I mean, it was a huge show, and you, for some reason, that property, when people collect it, it just stays in the collection. So, it's hard.
I just want to say hi, Alicia. Alicia was on our live stream last night. It's nice to see you. Hannah says, "Hey, Will." She says, and I don't know if anybody else is in the chat is talking. Okay, so let me go to the next picture. Where are we here? So Harry Potter, at which you have behind you. You
I
have one
do.
of them,
I do.
and I guess only one came up for auction, like the two.
No. So, uh,
Close-ups of
I
the
got
goggles
this
are super cool.
through a friend of mine on Facebook, actually. Um,
Really?
yes. I can't say how she got it. But yeah, I mean, Harry Potter stuff is really rare because WB kept everything for the most part because of the studio tour.
Hmm.
Um, so usually, there's not really anything from like a main character that really gets out. So I'm very, very lucky to own this piece because it's just so very rare and so iconic.
No, absolutely. In fact, like when we were interviewing Prop Store the other day, which, like I said, is going to be out on Saturday, I said, like, for instance, they had some stuff from Game of Thrones, which I haven't seen anything from Game
Sure.
of Thrones because I think same idea. HBO's just held
Yep.
on to it for so long.
Well, so I have
Sorry,
some
go ahead.
intel there with Game of Thrones actually
Oh,
because
do tell.
yeah, so the Game of Thrones stuff was supposed to go to auction. Usually the HBO stuff will go to sale. Um, but they decided that they were going to open up a studio tour. So they actually kept everything, and actually they just opened up their studio tour last year. And I actually went there when I was in Belfast. It's in Belfast, and I got to see everything. And you
Amazing.
best believe I did ask if they had everything and if they wanted to keep everything.
Well, so like at Prop Store, like for instance, one of the things up for auction is Arya Stark's sword, but
Hmm.
it's the what do you call
Stunt
it?
version.
The stunt version. Yeah, exactly. So, and then I know that Maisie Williams said she had wanted the sword back, but I think it's
Hmm.
HBO has it. Maybe eventually she will get it. So they said, yeah, no, just occasionally things will come up for auction, but yeah, it was only like 5 pieces and then some crew stuff. That was it.
Yeah, so I'm sure like a crew member probably either grabbed stuff or just was given stuff and decided to part with it.
Just checking. Oh, hey, Queen Bee. Hello. Um, Me and Josh are watching. Love seeing this. Oh, wonderful. Thanks so much for being here. Okay, so gonna go to the next picture. I'm trying to go through all these buttons. Sorry, and I'm having next one is this, The Great Wall,
Hmm.
starring Matt Damon. and
Yeah,
you have looks like quite a bit from this
I
movie.
do. I kind of went off the deep end with this movie.
Do you have like 5 guards? Like you have five
I
guards in the
have
picture?
so I have four guards, and I
Or-
sold the fifth one to a friend of mine.
Okay.
But that guard is somewhere here in Minnesota.
Okay. So
um,
if you wanted to borrow it back or something, you could do that. Like
yeah,
say if you wanted to do an
yeah,
exhibit. Now that's another question because I know that you do buy, but then you'll sometimes just sell. Again, you'll flip it. Do you
sure.
make a bit of a profit when you sell again? Do you try to at
I
least?
mean, sometimes, I don't, that's not generally what I do. Like, usually
Mhm.
the stuff that I buy, I'll keep, but I do sometimes sell stuff. But yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, um, for example, I was very lucky and I got 4 racks of costumes from the magicians. Um,
Oh.
so I got like that's the best mail day ever. I got 17 boxes of costumes in that day.
And
And
I've got
suffice to
I've
say,
got a
I didn't need everything.
I've got a few pictures here of the magicians. Just and I was telling you earlier, my husband was a big fan of this. I think it ran for 4
Yeah.
seasons.
It ran for 5.
Oh, 5
Yeah, they had a good
seasons.
run.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, here's some examples. But so this is just it was funny because I was saying, "Oh, there's other costumes," and you go, "Yeah," because if I had sent you everything, you would have been completely
Yeah.
overwhelmed, and I would have been.
Yeah.
So you seem to know me well already regarding that. I would have been completely overwhelmed. So, in terms of the Great Wall, though, we'll go back to that. So, this is like actually, I have to say, this is actually a really great piece of armor. I'm always,
hmm
I am a little bit critical, like, oh, it's leather, but
Sure.
no, I actually think this is really, really well done. Like, I mean,
It
this would be
is.
to build this would probably be
hmm
several grand just to even build
Well,
it.
so from my understanding, the armor's from Weta Digital or like Weta Workshop.
Ah,
Yep, yep, yep.
yes,
So I mean, they
that's why
spare
it's
no
so good.
expense. Yeah.
And then this, like, I went back and I was looking at some of the pictures, and so each
hmm
sort of faction had their it kinda like
Yeah.
their own they had their own sigil, and then they all
hmm
had their own color. So you've got
Yeah.
the purple, what is it, dragon? Which one is it that you have?
So I
Uh,
have 3 different. I think that they're like core. So I have 4 of these deer core,
oh,
and then
dear,
I have
that's right. Yes.
deer, and then I have 2 of the eagle, the red ones,
Okay.
and then I have 1 dragon
Oops.
one, which is the gold one.
Sorry, I went on the wrong one there. Yeah, that
I would,
they were, they're really, really beautiful. You know what happens? I
yeah.
think I'm actually moving these. Guys, I'm doing something like I mean, I have done slides in this before, but I've just got so many here, so you have to bear with me. Okay, I'll hide that one. So where are we here? So we did the Great Wall. What did you think of that movie, by the way? There was a lot of criticism because Matt
There
Damon wasn't,
was,
but I heard
yeah,
he was invited to be in it.
yeah, no, that's what I heard too. And I
Mhm.
didn't watch it until the auction was about to happen, and I was like, oh, I
Okay.
should probably watch this. So I'm gonna get stuff. I liked
Oh,
it.
hey,
I thought it was pretty
Tatiana.
good.
Okay, well, I will check it out then. My friend Tatiana's here. Hi, Tatiana. Sup? She says, been a while. Tatiana, I'm trying to go through all these buttons, so you'll be laughing at me here. Okay, so next one, and you've got it right behind you there is,
I
I always
do.
want to say, Katniss Everdeen. I think that's like, I don't know who says that in that
The
way.
girl on fire.
Girl on
Yeah,
fire. Yeah,
yeah.
it's what's his name, the host? Katniss
Uh,
Everdeen.
Stanley Tucci.
Stanley Tucci, he's so great in that. And then
Yeah, we
I'm
love
trying to
Stanley.
figure out in the new one, is that supposed to be a young Stanley Tucci? Because wouldn't he be really, really old by now, unless he's had so much plastic surgery that
Yeah. Well, yeah, I don't know. That's a good question.
anyway, this is a magnificent piece. So you were saying
Yeah.
that you only wish that you could possibly have had um the the sword to go with that as well.
The bow.
The
Yeah.
bow, I should say. And
Yeah.
and then I guess you don't have the sleeves. Like this is I found a picture of her. There's one point in the movie where she loses the sleeves.
Yeah.
So this is
hmm
sort of the look here. But you do also have a Mockingjay pin, I think.
So that's just a replica that I just put on there because that's
Oh,
where she
see.
she put it on in the
Yeah.
movie. But yeah, so this costume is after, I mean, clearly after she was, in the arena for a bit. There's
Hmm.
some dried blood on there, I believe, and a lot of dirt, and it's heavily distressed, which I just think it looks really, really cool.
Oh yeah, you want to leave that. Like, some
Hmm.
collectors might go, "Oh, I better wash that." But no, it's good
Yeah,
that you're leaving that.
yeah.
Okay, so next we have Underworld. And oh wait, so I've got okay, I'll start with Victor because again that one's moved. So we've got Victor here.
Hmm.
I love the fabric on this. Like it looks like it's
Yeah,
waxed or something, or I'm
yeah.
not quite sure what's going on. What kind of fabric is this, do you think?
It's leather.
Oh,
It
it
is
is? Oh my
leather. Yeah.
God. No
Hmm.
way.
Yeah.
And then it has
Yeah.
all those amazing like, embroidered details on it.
Hmm.
Are they appliques? There it is.
Uh, to be honest with you, I don't have this one yet. I'm still paying this one off. But so I do have Celine's Co, which is
Yes.
next. And
Yeah, where is
so
she?
hers are appliques, but I believe that these are not. I think that these look to me like they are like plastic pieces that they've sewn in, but I
Oh,
won't
is
know
it here?
that for a while.
Is this her here? Oh, there she is. Okay. So yeah, so like for instance, one of the pieces you don't have her corset. So you've put a
I don't.
corset in there, right? Which is
I
I think that's
have.
amazing. But
Yeah, I always say, as long as I can get the main piece, I can make the
yeah.
rest of it work.
Hmm.
I know a lot of collectors are purists and, they don't like to get things that, aren't complete, but I don't know, I don't mind it, and with what I do for work, being, a designer, it's pretty easy for me to kind of make the look like how they had it in the film with, things that I can find. But yeah,
Yeah. And now what's this fabric? Is that leather as well?
it is. Yeah, it's a very thin leather, but it's leather, yeah. So
It's
this so
really
this
yeah.
coat is interesting, not to cut you off, but
No, no, go ahead.
so she doesn't damage her coat in any of the films. So I didn't really know what this coat was, which it made me very hesitant to purchase it because I just didn't know what it was. But then I found a promo image of her with this coat on, and it's ripped kind of in the same way. So I don't know if they cut a scene or what, but this one you can see like the arms, they have like stretch fabric on the bottoms there. So this was a
Hmm.
stunt coat that they would have used for some of the fight scenes, I think. Um,
Yes. Yeah, that totally makes sense. And also just, it does look like on the bottom, even on the picture here, that you can sort of see
mhm.
it's a little bit distressed, but with the
Yeah,
color grading and everything, it probably
yeah,
would have looked a lot darker. It's
yeah.
always I have to say the thing I really love is on the far right here, like that detailing there.
Hmm.
Is that like an applique or an insert of some kind? So awesome.
So that is, I think, a sticker that they applied to it, because it is slightly peeling off on the bottom now because it's so old.
Hmm.
So yes, that's an applique, but it's all leather. So they just had a leather bit that they did all that sewing work in, and they just
Yeah.
stuck it on the coat, which is really interesting. I
Yeah,
don't know
it's
why they
really,
did
really
that. But
nice. So, okay, next we are going to go to just checking my notes here. Actually, we're plowing through pretty well. So, one of the things I noticed is so some of the collections you have maybe one or two pieces, and then others you have like
mhm,
an extensive. So, we're just sort of going through the ones where you only have like a few pieces.
sure.
So, next up is Ellen Enchanted, which is this
Hmm.
crown. I haven't seen this movie, but that's a really, really lovely piece.
Hmm.
And then, of course, Ella so this is what's this actress's name?
So that is Vivica A.
Vivica
Fox.
A. Fox.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Uh-huh.
She's in
Yeah.
Kill
So
Bill.
yeah, I actually just got this like a week ago.
Amazing.
Um, yeah, and I just won another one today, which I'm very excited about. And I'm paying off another Ella Enchanted costume, one of Ella's actual costumes. So I have a good
Wow.
display set for exhibits eventually.
Yeah, look how
So,
cute her boots are
mhm.
with painted hearts.
Peak 2004 right there, right?
Yes. Okay, so next we went through the magicians already, so probably could skip that. So the next one is the Watchmen, which only ran for one season. So I guess they sold off
Mhm.
everything, right, for that.
They did, yeah.
And these are what are the characters here?
So this
And
is
what
Red Scare. So
okay.
this is one of the detectives that worked for the Tulsa PD. Um, I think for me, I'm not really into superhero stuff, but I was really drawn to this show because, they really shined a really cool light on, I don't know, like a superhero of color, which, doesn't happen often.
Yeah.
Um, and, especially after like the whole George Floyd situation happened, I really wanted to acquire something from the show because I really thought that the way that they did it was really beautiful. And, I didn't know about the Tulsa massacre until
Mhm.
this show happened. And yeah, so I don't know. I just really enjoyed that first season, and kind of sad there's no more.
I know, I think the
But
fans were really like his it was a really, really well done
it
show.
was, yeah.
Now this one here, the woman's costume, is that Regina? Was that her
It
costume?
is. That's Regina
Oh,
King's costume.
oh,
Yep. So
amazing.
this is one of five of these
Okay.
that got sent out into the world. I don't know
Mhm.
if HBO kept any, but yeah, so I have one of five in the entire world, which is kind of crazy.
That's amazing. So
Yeah.
Tatiana has a question for you. She
Sure.
says, she says, for Mr. Swift. Tatiana, that's very respectful of you. She says, for an amateur designer like me, how do you get your footing in the costume industry? And how important is it for the designer to sew or have sewing knowledge?
That's a really great question. I don't know how to sew myself, to be honest
Mhm.
with you. I have no
Yeah.
knowledge of sewing, but I'm very good at styling, and that's kind of how I started in the industry, is just styling for things. And
Mhm.
then, along the way, you just meet people, and, I think for me, I started out in this industry just doing like costume rentals for Halloween and that kind of thing. And I've been doing it for almost 10 years now. And eventually that kind of bled into like a small little film industry here. And yeah, so I don't know.
Are there any major shows shooting in Minneapolis at the moment?
No, not right now.
Okay.
It's most for me. I've not worked on anything super big. I've just done
Yeah.
like, an indie film and a couple of smaller things. But yeah.
Mhm. Well, when I did my interview with Anne Crabtree, which is coming out next week, at some point, she started in fashion. She was telling me she
Oh,
started at
sure.
Elle, working in fashion, and then she did an indie film, got her first
Hmm.
kind of break doing an indie film, and
Hmm.
then she did like a she told me she told me this series like her first union job. I was like, I
Hmm.
looked it up and I was like, what was I don't think it lasted very long. It might have been a pilot only, but so that's how it starts, right? Start small and
Yeah,
then you work your way up.
yeah, and I'm
Uh,
still working my way up.
you
So.
are. Yeah. Well, you're so young. You have your whole life ahead of you there. So next up, this one, I was so excited to see that you had some Northman pieces. And I actually
Hmm.
have to I have one friend, he's like an Alexander Skarsgård, fan. He has like a fan page on Instagram. So I'll have to
Hmm.
let him know you have a few of these pieces because he'll be like
Yeah.
very, very excited. So we only found this one. I should see if I can find a better picture of Alexander Skarsgård. But
Hmm.
I did a video on this show on this movie,
Hmm.
as I think you know, and they said they really were aspiring to make a historically accurate Viking
Hmm.
movie. I got some people online who got mad at me because I called it Viking, but I said, well, a lot of the archaeologists refer to it as
Sure.
Viking era, so I'm going to use
Hmm.
that, but you can say Norse. And so this outfit that Nicole Kidman is wearing is actually she's wearing it at a funeral, like a burial.
Hmm. Yeah.
That scene for me was so horrifying.
Yeah. It was.
It was so strange. I mean, like she's kind of a horrific character in my opinion,
Yeah.
already, but that scene to me was absolutely horrifying. So
Hmm.
it's basically splattered with blood. I'm assuming it's like, I don't know what they used, but what's it look like in person?
So it's just like little brown splotches. So I
Mhm.
don't think that that was from the blood. There are a couple of stains on it that is clearly like the blood that she was splattering.
Yes.
Um, but it's I think it's supposed to be just simulated like mud or something, or maybe
Okay.
that's just how they designed it. But it's very beautiful. It's a very beautiful piece.
Is it silk?
It's wool. Yeah.
Oh, it is, because it's
Yeah.
actually got a
Hmm.
bit of a luster. Maybe the lighting
Yeah.
helped with that, right?
It's very thick. It's a very thick wool.
Oh,
Yeah.
no way. Okay. And then
Hmm.
Alex's outfit what's his shirt made out of? Is that like linen, or is it a wool as well?
It is. I believe it is a wool. Yeah.
Mhm.
Hmm. A lighter wool, but I
A
think it's
lighter
still
wool.
wool.
Mhm.
Yeah.
'Cause they would have used a lot of wool, so that's
Yeah.
very cool. And they're in Iceland, and they're, rearing
Yeah.
sheep and things like
Well,
that, so and they're
yeah.
milling and,
Well, and
um
that tunic's cool because he wore that throughout most of the end of the film.
yeah,
So
when he arrives at the settlement or whatever, when he's taken as a
yeah.
slave. Sorry if I'm
Yeah.
giving spoilers. It's been out for a while though, so I figure I could say it.
Yeah.
What did you think of the movie?
I loved it. I thought it was
Yeah,
very beautiful. The cinematography was amazing. Of course, Alex is amazing. I've been a fan of his all the way back since True Blood.
me
Um,
too. Yeah, actually,
so,
Bex, who I live streamed with last night, her and I did a True Blood, like,
oh,
I think
sure,
around Halloween a couple years ago. Yeah, we're both huge True Blood fans.
sure, yeah.
Okay, so next we have now I thought I had another Spartacus, but I only have this picture for some reason. I thought I had I maybe I do have him. Oh no.
Somewhere.
If I find okay, so do you want to tell me this is Lucy Lawless,
Sure. Well, you can. So
obviously?
in that middle picture there, you can kind of see that second one towards the
Oh
wall
yeah,
there.
there it is. Yes.
Yeah. Yep. So I have here Lawless's dress here from Spartacus. Her character was named Lucretia in that series. And then I have Anamaeus's costume in the corner there. And so I have a couple of others coming soon. But these are the first two that I've acquired so far. And I really loved that show. I actually just rewatched it with my boyfriend for
Oh,
the first time in a
amazing.
while. And yeah,
Yeah.
and he had never seen it and he really
I haven't
enjoys
seen it
it.
either.
Oh
It's
gosh,
funny
it's
because
so
a
good,
lot of
Heidi.
these oh, I have to watch it then. Like, a lot of these it's funny because I was like, "I haven't seen that show, and I haven't seen that show," and,
Yeah,
there's so many good shows. For
yeah,
instance, Series of Unfortunate Events, my husband's watched
sure.
that, or at least some of it.
Oh, sure.
So if I do come across that picture, I will bring it up, but I think what's happened is I might had just have loaded too many pictures for the platform and it just deleted a few of them. So I apologize. Okay, so we have a series of unfortunate events. This is okay. So now we're moving into your bigger collections because you
Yeah,
had these smaller, like one or two or three, costume collections. But
yeah.
were you able to acquire most of this at the same time?
Yes and no. So it was the same auction for
Okay.
these ones on the screen right now. But I paid them off over 6 months, because it was about $8,000 for all of these.
Oh my God.
Um, but I really loved the books as a kid, and I loved the Jim Carrey film. I didn't love the show as much.
Mhm.
It skewed very young, but I thought that the costume design was really interesting and really cool and very whimsical. And I thought it would be a really great addition for the collection. And I thought that it would display really nice. And so I kind of went on off the deep end with these costumes because I thought it would be really cool to hopefully one day have like a whole like room of just stuff from this show.
Yeah.
Um and yeah, it all just really kind of spoke to me. So I decided to splurge a little bit on this show.
I meant to look up who the designer is because I'm pretty sure that they either have been nominated, got some. I'm pretty sure during award season I saw them nominated because the costumes are like absolutely amazing. Like, look at
Yeah,
this. This is the female antagonist. I'm assuming because
yeah.
she has
Esme
such great.
Squalor.
She has such great
Yeah,
costumes, and there's
she
like look
gives.
at the shoes.
Yeah, she reminds me a lot of like Cruella de Vil,
Hmm.
very much so. And this costume is really interesting because it's so unique. Um, a lot of the times when people see this in my house, they ask if that's Rose's dress from Titanic, which I think is really
I thought
funny.
that's what it was first, just because of the
Yeah,
fabric. Yeah, it has to have a
yeah,
bit of the nautical look, obviously, because of
it
the
does. Yeah,
yeah. And she's wearing the fore and aft, or I think it's a bicorn. It's called. What's
yeah, yeah, yeah.
the cape made out of? Is it feathers?
It no, so it the cloak, it
Yeah.
is just a big sheet of just like fabric. Yeah, I've actually seen this fabric at like Joann's.
Oh no
So they just
way!
got it just they turn it into a cloak.
That's
So
hilarious.
it's kind of I'm trying to think. It's kind of like just a big rug, like rug
Yeah, like a
fur.
faux fur or eyelash.
Faux
The
fur. Yeah,
eyelash.
it's faux fur. Yeah.
Yeah. It's funny how like it's hard to tell sometimes what something is. There's a close up of it. But the
Yeah.
shoes are so amazing. And then this is one
Hmm.
of the cute little girls.
Yeah. Hmm.
Um, and so one of the females. And then this one is amazing.
Yeah.
Is that supposed to be like a spider on her back, or what is that?
No, that so I haven't gotten this one in yet because they had a second auction recently, and I got this one because it sold a lot cheaper this time around, which I'm very excited about. So I haven't gotten it in yet,
Uh-huh.
but that those are like foxes, I think. Like
Oh,
so you see like her little epaulets on her
oh
shoulders;
my
those are like
God.
fox faces.
Oh, so
So
she is the
those are
Cruella de
paws.
Vil. She's just like,
Yes,
yeah,
this is
she's
her
wearing
Cruella de
dead
Vil
animals.
moment.
Wow. And then
Yeah,
the earrings as well.
I know.
I hope
Yeah,
you get those. I hope you get the
me
earrings.
too. Me too.
And then the shoes, I think I had a picture of them. It's got like a razor blade.
Yes. She actually
Oh my
in the
God.
scene that she wears this in, she actually throws the shoe as like a weapon.
Oh my
Which
Lord.
yes. So the shoe itself is also a prop, which I think is really cool.
Yeah, Tatiana says she takes bitch heels to a whole new level. Wow, that Cena, I couldn't quite place her. She still looks good though. Well, what year is the Lucy Lawless in Spartacus? That's how many years back is that? I mean, she does.
Spartacus was 2013,
Yeah,
I
so not
believe.
that long.
Yeah,
Yeah, so no, I've seen her in some other things too. She looks great. I have
it
agree
does.
with that.
Yeah.
So we're okay. So we've got we did that one, we did that one. Okay, and of course this is Olaf, which is
Yeah.
what's the actor's name?
Neil Patrick
Neil Patrick
Harris.
Harris. He's playing the
Hmm.
role of that Jim Carrey played.
Hmm.
I love this suit. It
Hmm.
looks like, is it a velvet or a corduroy or what is it?
I don't know. It's more of a corduroy than it is a velvet.
Okay. It looks
But
very,
it's
very
not.
tight.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's so tight that it barely fits on a mannequin.
Wow. Is there a bit
Yeah,
of stretch in it though?
not really. No, I think Neil's a really skinny guy based on
Okay.
this costume.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
you also have the little shirt and cravat that he wears underneath it. I don't have
I
that.
do. Yeah, the only
So
piece I don't have from this costume is his shoes.
oh, okay.
Um,
Okay.
yeah.
What did the shoes look like? Are they like a
They're like dress shoes.
oh, okay. All right. So you could
Yeah.
probably
Mhm.
cobble something together. Oh,
Yeah, yeah,
that was shoe humor. Um,
yeah.
this one, I love the shoulders,
Yes.
like
Yes.
amazing. Did you get this one
Yeah.
yet?
I haven't gotten this one yet. This is a
Yeah,
newer one too.
it looks like liquid
Um,
metal.
it does, yes. And it's funny because so she wears this dress to an auction. So
Okay.
I just thought it'd be really funny to have a dress that I win at auction that was an auction dress.
That's yeah, it's a little bit meta.
It is.
Well, for sure when you when you get some more of these other pieces, we should have you back. Maybe we can do a,
Yeah,
Lemony Snicket kind of a series of unfortunate events showcase.
sure.
This
Yeah,
one,
that'd be
here's
fun.
another one of hers. I mean, this actress, oh my gosh, she got the best clothes.
Lucy Punch. Yeah, so Lucy
Yeah.
Punch is also in Ella Enchanted.
Oh, she
Um,
is. Okay.
she is. She plays one of the evil stepsisters, and the
Oh,
costume I won today was actually hers.
oh,
So now I
amazing.
have like two of her costumes that she's
Yes.
worn.
Now again, like I said, a faux fur, do you think, or do you have this
It
one yet, or are you
is.
still waiting
Yep.
on?
I
Okay.
do have this one. Yep. So this fur is the same fabric that they used on the cloak.
Oh, okay. Well, that's very
Yep.
versatile of them.
It is. Yeah.
They're resourceful. Like they're like, we've got some
Yeah.
left over. Might as well.
hmm
Sorry, that's her shoe. And then this is one of the children characters. So you've got the baby and the girl and the boy
Yep. So the
from the
Baudelaire children, they're like the
Baudelaire.
main characters. And these costumes I really wanted to get because they're the costumes that we first meet them in, and they
Mhm.
wear these throughout, I think, like episode 3. So just like with Anne's like little dress, I know she changes
Yeah.
her dress like after episode 2. But when you first meet a character, you tend to kind of remember those costumes for some reason.
Yeah. And
I
then Anne's dress was used in the posters. So it's,
Yeah, yeah.
uh, and then this one is Alfred Woodard, I think.
hmm
Oh, sorry if I'm saying her name wrong. I love this
Yeah,
outfit, actually. I think it's so sweet.
it
It has
is.
sort
It's
of the
very simple but sweet.
1940s sort of feel to it, I
Yeah.
think.
Well, and this was the character that Meryl Streep played in the film.
Oh, okay.
So this was, my attempt at getting something Meryl Streep related.
You'll have to maybe see if you can get her dress. Well, it'd probably be really like the Colleen Atwood when she wore it Into the Woods.
Oh yeah. Well, and Disney stuff is just so hard to get because they archive everything, and what they don't archive, they usually
Oh.
destroy. So,
Yeah, actually, I just discovered the Disney archives the other day. I was like,
oh
"Oh, I didn't
sure,
even
yeah,
know they had." I didn't even know I started following them on Twitter. I didn't even
yeah,
know they had an archives. This
yeah,
one,
they
I
do, yeah,
love this costume. Again, it's sort of got. I mean, the show itself seems to have sort of a 1940s, 1950s
yeah, a
feel
little
to it,
bit, yeah,
vintage
yeah.
sort of feel. I love this dress and the stole that she's wearing on her
hmm
shoulder. Did you get this one in yet, or are you waiting
I
on that?
haven't gotten this one in yet. So this is Mrs. Poe. I have Mr. Poe
Mhm.
right now. He's
Oh,
he's the brown suit, and
yeah.
I wanted to get this one because it's beautiful, but also it would be cute to have like Mr. and Mrs. Poe.
Yeah. So sorry. Yeah, I think, and this one is really great. I love this. So this character, she's
hmm
also sort of a bit of a villain, right?
Carmelita Spatz, yeah,
Yeah.
Miss Carmelita. She's little rapscallion.
And I love like the tights and the shoes and everything. Did that come or did you add that
It
yourself?
did, yeah.
Oh,
No, I got the whole
amazing.
set. Yeah.
And even the mannequin you have is great.
Thank you. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
very similar to her stance in the
it
middle picture,
is
which I just thought
for
was great.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With the newer stuff, it's easier to like get everything because there's not as much time where things, will get lost. Like some of the older stuff, it's so hard to get a complete set.
Oh, Tatiana said she met Alfred Woodard in New York City. Thanks.
Oh wow.
She said at the actor. Oh yeah, New York City. Thank to intro the actor's studio. She's amazing. Show Once Upon a Time. Okay, we're almost there. We're almost there. We're
Yeah, we
trying
don't
to
want
get
to
through.
piss off the one-thirds.
We got. Okay, let's just do Anne first, and then is that okay? We'll
Sure.
just sort of plow through Anne. So Anne, was shot in Canada. Anne Dixon. I just interviewed her. I showed her some of your
Mm.
pictures. I didn't have all of
Yeah,
them, but she's like, "Oh my
sure.
god, that's amazing!" And then she was even sort of
Yeah.
talking about how, with her dress, how where is she here? How you could see the lines where
Yeah.
the hem has been
hmm
let down several times, right? So she was saying the
hmm
idea is that she's been wearing this dress for several years,
Yeah.
and just through uh the hem just keeps coming down and it just kind of,
hmm
so I thought that was really cool. But
Yeah.
I'm hoping to put you guys in touch with each other so
Yeah,
that
I would love to talk to her about
she
just
is
kind of
so nice. She is like
Yeah.
the loveliest person. She said one of the things I asked her was, I said, "So what was your reaction to the fans when they were,
Mm,
you know, um, over the cancellation of the show and how they reacted?"
yeah.
And she's like, "Oh my God,
Yeah.
I was totally blown away. I couldn't even believe it." Like
Yeah.
she said when she originally took the show that she said that she's like, "Oh God, like they're doing another Anne of Green Gables."
Yeah.
Because Megan
Hmm.
Follows one is so beloved and everything.
Yeah.
And so, but then she read the script and she said it was just so, sort of like a little bit, it was a fresh take
Yeah.
on it. And so she said, I
Yeah.
have to do the show. So do you have anything you want to tell me about this? Like I think we've got
Sure.
Diana and we've got,
Yeah. So I know I did watch that interview with her, and she said that the coat wasn't Matthew's. So the coat is his, but it's not. She doesn't wear it until season 3, I think.
oh, okay. That's
Um.
probably why she didn't know because you know why?
Yeah.
It was a different designer. It was Alex
Yeah.
who took over.
Yeah.
Do you know she
Yeah.
said there was something weird? I try to remember what she said, why she left the show. She said it
She
was
said it
some
was a union thing. She
union
changed her
thing.
union. Yeah.
She didn't want to. She didn't want to leave. So that,
Yeah.
um, okay, so yeah, so the
Yeah.
coat, um, I think she said the one that he wore is more like like a suede or something
Yeah. Yeah. In the first couple
in the
seasons.
first couple of, and then she said she also built him like a sort of creamy work coat, like a
Yeah.
lab
His
coat
like
that you
farmer.
a
Yeah.
farmer coat, exactly. I
Yeah.
think Marilla had one as well
Yeah.
for
She
milking
did.
the
Yeah.
cows and all that type of thing.
Yeah. Hmm.
So there's
Yeah, no,
Anne.
so these costumes were really important for me to get and to have them stay together because I really loved that show so much.
I have to show you something, by the
And
way. Here, I'll be right back.
sure, sure.
Oh, sorry, I don't usually just, walk out in the middle of a stream like that. Hold on a second. So I just mentioned, like, we did a show and tell the other day of things we have. So I wanted to show you this. This is my flower crown I have
Oh
from Anne with an
wow.
E. It's a little bit
Oh my
flat.
gosh.
Yeah, but I was thinking of giving this to you to have as part of your collection.
Oh my God.
So this is the crown that Anne wears in I think in season
Season
3 when they
2,
season
I
2 when they go
think,
to the
right?
party.
Yeah.
And this was actually
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I have like I bought it at they call it Anne's Hero Crown. Like it came in a Ziploc bag, isn't that?
Oh sure.
Anyways, I've been meaning to buy like a little shadow box for it. And I also have her parasol that
Oh
she wears just
wow.
as she's graduating, I think from
Sure.
so yeah, so I'm thinking of sending this to you. So we'll chat about it. But
Yeah, that'd be amazing.
I need to fix it up a little bit for you before I send it to you.
You
So
know, so you must have attended that auction, the prop auction. I missed it. I missed it by a week, and I just didn't know about it because it was such a small, like private Canadian
I
thing.
don't even know, like, it was, like, really near where I live, and I was like,
Oh wow.
and I just said to my sister, she has, like, signed copy or not a signed, she has a limited edition version of Anne of Green Gables, the book Anne of Green Gables,
Sure.
of Lucy Maud
Yeah.
Montgomery, and I said,
Yeah.
"Listen, I bought her flower crown." I don't know why I did that, but I just thought I would, but I think it would just be better if it's with you because,
Aw.
then you'll have you don't have the dress, but at least it'll be, Tatiana's
Yeah.
getting emotional.
That'd be great. Thank you so much. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
so we'll talk about that because it'd be nice for
Yeah.
you to, have keep the things together. You know what I mean? Like you were
Yeah.
saying,
Yeah.
because I totally
Yeah.
know what you're saying. I totally know that they do deserve to be together. Now, but you do
Yeah.
have some for Matthew. You do have his trousers and his
I have his
waistcoat and shirt
belt too,
and
which
his
is kind of
belt, which is
crazy.
awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, I have the whole set.
You know what's funny? By the way, the actor who played Matthew, I did a show with him
Hmm.
years ago. But I was just looking at Road to Avonlea. He was on that. Do you know?
I did see
Yeah.
that. Yeah, I
Uh,
did. Yeah.
so I thought that was really he's a Canadian actor. I
Yeah.
was just like, "Oh, yeah."
Yeah.
And then the
Full
actress who played
circle.
Marilla, she's in, Silo. She was in Silo.
Oh,
So
sure.
it's for Geraldine. I can't remember her last name, but I was like, "Wait a second, I know her." But what it
Yeah.
was is, they even do a scene in Anne of Green Gables where they show her washing her hair, and you can kind of tell that they've dyed
Yeah.
her hair, right?
Yeah.
So in Silo, her hair is completely gray, and that's why I was like,
Hmm.
I know that actress, but also she's British, which just
She
complete,
is.
yeah, complete her and Annabeth McNulty or whatever, McNulty,
Yeah. She's
they're
Irish, I think,
she's
right?
Irish, and I was like,
Yeah.
what? So yeah,
Yeah. I
pretty
didn't know
impressive.
that she was British until I saw the Down Abbey movie, and I was like,
Yeah.
oh wait, interesting.
um, okay. I know it's always really surprising. So, but Matthew is Canadian, so he that actor is Canadian. So what else?
Sure.
You have a bunch of letters and like just such a like a collection of props from the show as well
Yeah.
that are
Yeah.
they've
So these
probably been handwritten by some of the props people.
Yeah, the it was very surprising to me how high quality the paper props were. Like real parchment, real pen for the most part.
Mhm.
Very detailed. It was very interesting. Yeah, so I
Cool.
missed the original prop auction, but a friend of mine, Lee, he sold a lot of these on eBay after the original auction.
Oh,
Got some of
okay.
those.
You guys have like a little
Yeah,
circuit that you all
yeah, yeah.
um and it doesn't look like it's nonsense. Like it looks like it's actually,
It is, yeah.
people.
It's really interesting. Yeah, it's all real. It's not like a lot of the times like with newspapers they'll just repeat stuff.
Mhm.
But it's all real articles. Like they really typed it all out. And it's really cool to have, especially like the her little piece that she wrote in season 3,
To Marilla there?
what's
The little card?
no, her I forget what it's called now, but she wrote that piece in the paper that made everybody mad in season 3.
Oh, so you have that piece. I don't
The
think I have any
why
of
is
them.
fair
Yeah.
or something. But
Yes.
but yeah, there on the far right we have the take notice board,
Oh,
which is
okay.
really cool.
That's
And a
awesome.
fun little tidbit about this picture is I took a picture of the take notice board in the show, and I lined all of these up exactly to how they're lined up on the take notice board, so that like
Yeah.
all the spacing is all the same, which
Yeah.
which
I
is kind
love
of
that.
cool.
And the
Yeah.
shells are really nice.
I
Did they
tried to
do
kind
that?
of, and no, I did that all myself. I really tried to do with the space what I thought Anne would kind of do.
Mhm.
And I know that she really loved to just like have shells and little things that she would find. And so I wanted to kind of decorate that wall with a bit of Anne, if that makes any sense.
I was going to say, if anyone's just joining us right now, actually, William has Anne of Green Gables behind him, and with an E. So her
Yeah.
original like pinafore and her dress, and one of the questions you actually had for Anne with it, who's also with an E, Anne Dixon, the
Hmm.
costume designer, is about like what they would wear underneath and that type of thing. So we're hoping that maybe she can help you out with some of that information. And
Yeah. Yeah. And I would love to talk to her about Marilla's belt because I
Mhm.
never got the belt. So
That
I
leather
would
belt,
love
right?
that leather corset
Oh,
belt.
her
Yeah.
and she wore it pretty much, like, I think every
All
season,
the
didn't she?
time. Yeah.
It
Yeah.
Yeah, it would really
This
finish off this look, right?
It would. And so this dress, I don't, I had questions for her. I know that she only worked on the first season, but this dress for some reason she always wore for like the really meaningful scenes. I don't
Mhm.
know if that was a planned thing or not, but like she wears this throughout all 3 seasons, and this is kind of like her like going out dress, but also like she wears this in a lot of like really emotional scenes. Like she wears this when her and Anne are under that tree. I don't remember that scene from the first season where she like runs away and they like
Mhm.
have that heart to heart. And then this is also the last dress that she wears in the show.
Oh, wow.
So,
I didn't know that she wore it all through. It's funny, I did a video on it, and I don't remember.
oh
I
yeah,
have to
so
sometimes go
long
back and
ago
watch my
now.
videos to remember what
Yeah,
actually happened,
yeah.
Someone will leave a comment on a video, and I'll be like, "Oh, that video is 4 years old. I won't remember." I'll just tell them. Okay. So people are asking, should we do Once Upon a Time?
Calm down, oncers. We'll get there. We'll get
Is that
there.
what Once Upon a Time fans are called? They're called
Yeah,
Oncers? Oh,
we're
that's
called
fun.
oncers. Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's really fun. All right. So let's start off with we've got Snow, which this one you just have a cloak, or is that dress, was that hers as well?
Yeah. So for this one, so
Mhm.
I originally got the cloak, the scarf, and the skirt. But the skirt I sold to a friend who really wanted it very badly, and I was in need of money. um, but this one, I was okay with selling the skirt just because no one
Mhm.
remembers the skirt.
No,
Everyone remembers the cloak.
for sure.
Um,
It's a
and
beautiful
so
fabric too.
it is. It's gorgeous. It's gorgeous. I was very lucky to get this costume because this is one of her, really iconic costumes from the show. It was super recognizable.
Mhm.
Disney kept most of her like really cool, combat outfits. So this was one that I really wanted to get, and honestly is one of my favorites too. So
Mhm.
and it's very interesting that the scarf was still attached to the cloak. It was pinned on there. So
Oh,
very
so
lucky
that
to
so
get that.
that lace scarf isn't actually attached, it's just sort of like pinned together?
Yeah, yeah.
One piece?
Well, so yeah.
Oh.
Mhm.
Oh, okay, that's very cool. Next we have, it's funny because I didn't know, I was watching, I don't know if you watch Manifest.
I did.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Josh is in a Manifest, and, he actually, I don't know how I was looking something up, and I found out these 2 were actually married. They are,
They
like,
are.
so,
Yeah. So they met on set of Once Upon
isn't
a
that
Time.
sweet? Isn't that the sweetest thing?
It is, yeah, and
Yeah.
they have a family now, and they're still
Mhm.
together. And I
Yeah.
know, in Hollywood, you usually don't sit together that long, and they
Uh-huh.
they they make it through, and I think that's just so beautiful.
It's funny because I used this picture of Charming, it was when I was doing a video about the new House of the Dragon, because I was sort of teasing
Oh
that I
yeah,
thought that the House of the Dragon outfits look kind of like Prince Charming.
yeah, a little
But
bit, yeah,
but you got this jacket, which is such an amazing piece because, we were talking before the stream that he wears this throughout pretty much all the seasons, and it has a
yeah,
different, I'm sure they had multiples, but that's such a great
yeah,
piece to get. Now
yeah.
what size is
So
it? Have you tried it on?
I may or may not have tried it on. I cannot confirm or
Yeah.
deny.
It's fun,
Um,
yeah. I'm assuming that some things you probably do try. You're probably not supposed to try them
Yeah,
on,
you
but,
you kind of have to,
for sure.
I don't know. Yeah, if it's durable enough, I
Yeah,
usually will either try it on myself or make one of my best friends come over and put it on, and just so I can see how it looks on a person. You know what I
for
mean?
sure. Yeah, 'cause, what sizes did you think? Like a 40? 38,
Him? What's
40?
uh
That's
like
pretty
waist
slim.
size
Or
or
sorry, the
no?
chest, or sorry, 40
Yeah,
chest?
probably, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, he was pretty muscular at this time.
Okay.
Not that he's not now, but yeah. So
Yeah, because when you watch him in Manifest, I mean, he looks a lot lankier here than he is in
yeah,
Manifest because he's a dad,
yeah,
like in Manifest, right?
yeah,
So,
yeah.
but no, I mean, I think this is such a great costume. Now, question for
It
you, because
is.
I don't know, was it the same designer for all seasons, or did they change
It
designers at all?
was. So
Okay.
Eduardo Castro is the
Yeah,
costume designer
amazing.
on Once Upon a Time. He
Mhm.
also did the costume design on Gossip Girl. Um,
Oh, okay,
I
that's
believe,
interesting.
yeah. Hmm. Um, and I think he might have done Ugly Betty too, or maybe I'm getting that mixed up, but he did one of those for sure.
Tatiana wants to know
Um,
if you have any of Regina's dresses.
so Disney kept all of them,
Mhm.
I think, but I also may have heard a rumor that Lana took all of the Regina dresses after the last day of filming. I heard that there may have been a trailer involved that ended up in the wardrobe department, and
Well, why
I
well, why would she take them though?
well, I mean, so Lana had a very big hand in creating a lot of those costumes as
Oh,
well.
okay.
Her and Eduardo, would work very long hours to kind of create the looks together.
Oh,
So
okay,
they
okay,
were
sure.
as much her design as they were Eduardo's, I believe, just
Okay.
based on what I've heard.
Are they allowed to do that though? I didn't think they were allowed to just.
Yeah, I mean, it's a pretty common thing after a film ends or a
Okay.
TV show that, is kind of fair game.
Mhm. And then we have this one is Belle, I believe.
Yeah. So that is Belle.
We were chatting about the color being different. We weren't sure what they
Yeah. So the piping on the bodice there is different than what she wears in the show. So I don't know that the exact story behind the bodice. I don't know if
were.
it's just unfinished. It could be that they just didn't get to putting the brown leather on the piping, or it could be
Right.
one that they just didn't use in the long run, because there's a lot of stuff that they just cut. um
Yeah, because and also like, like the picture, I don't know, I've lost it now. Did I delete it? You've got it on your set there. It's possible
I
that
do, yeah.
that for the photo shoot it was different because that was a photo shoot I was showing you there. So maybe that was different.
Well, no, I mean, in the show, it's definitely like a brown gold for
Oh, it
sure.
is.
So
Okay.
it is, yeah. But so I mean, but otherwise, other than the color of the piping, like it is her corset. I mean, it all
Mhm.
lines up.
And the blouse looks
And
exactly the same
and the
too.
blouse is exactly the same.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but I think
Oh, here
Disney
she is.
kept
Sorry.
that one. So, this
Okay.
is the next best thing.
So here she is again. That I love how that corset fits her. It fits her like a glove. It's
It
so
does. And she's tiny.
amazing.
She's tiny.
Yeah. She's
So
so
she's
pretty.
actually she's on a kid mannequin because Emile de Raven,
Yeah.
she's just a very tiny actress. I think she's like 5'3" or 5'4". So
Her shoes are so cute. They look like
yeah,
little Crocs or something,
yeah.
or clogs,
But
right?
yeah, yeah.
And then
But yeah,
sorry,
this
I was
dress is super iconic. She wears this in so many episodes.
mhm. Well, next I have, we have a Mulan. William, are you there?
hmm
Yeah.
So Mulan's an interesting story here. So with Mulan, I didn't get much of her outfit. I know for a fact that this is no, excuse me, the second one that got sold. And I know that Disney has like the complete set.
Okay.
Um, the one that I got, the only thing that I got was the shoulder piece, the corset, and then the belt.
Mhm.
I didn't get anything else. So I tried to kind of do my own little thing with it to kind of make it look a little bit more complete. I would love to get the rest of it someday, but like I said, as long as I get the main piece, I can kind of make it work.
Yeah.
So
And then you were saying, oh yeah, sorry, this one is Aurora.
this is Aurora. Yeah,
So you have it. No, she oftentimes wears this shawl, but
she
I
does.
don't.
Yeah,
But you don't have that. But you
I
have
don't
something
have the
that looks like
shawl.
the
Yeah,
skirt is
so
amazing.
it's gorgeous in
Yeah.
person. I mean, oh my goodness, it is one of the most beautiful costumes that I own.
It looks like they
Um,
feathered the fabric on each like little petals. It looks kind of like petals or
mhm,
something. And then the bodice, like the way that they've draped it and everything, looks so amazing.
yeah, it's beautiful.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And then we've got I call this the jellyfish fairy, blue fairy. Now this is one you said you didn't get all of the parts, so this is
I
another example
didn't.
of where you have to put some of the other pieces in, but it looks amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, this is a really great display piece.
Mhm.
It's so iconic. I mean, the Blue Fairy in the show was almost in every episode.
Mhm.
So out of all of them, this one's, I think, the most iconic. With
Did
this
it
one,
come
I
in
was
a box?
lucky.
Like, how did that ship to you?
It did. It came in like a flat box because it
Yeah.
flattens out. The skirt flattens out.
Oh, it
It's like
does. Okay.
it
Okay.
does, yeah.
Oh, that's
Um,
practical then for,
yeah.
um, and then we've got, okay, this one is, I think I read that this is actually didn't get used in the show. This is like
Yeah, so this was a deleted
right.
scene costume, but I got it because it is just so beautiful. It's just gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. So I don't know what this was for. I think it was like a christening dress. Maybe I think it says season 4 on it. So maybe it was just too long because that train's about like 15 feet long or something. It's huge.
And speaking of
Um,
True Blood, the actress who plays
yeah,
her in this is from True Blood.
yeah, Kristen. Yeah,
Kristen, that's right.
yeah.
She's
Hmm.
Alex. It comes full circle. She's Alexander's sort of sidekick kind of thing in Once Upon a
Yeah,
Time.
yeah, and it's kind of cool too to own two different iterations of one character.
Yeah, and I
Just
don't have the other one here. I think like I was saying, I think what happened was when I loaded more pictures, the other so you also have another one of hers, which is
I
amazing.
do like the main one that she wears.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so then that's all I have for what's this one here? Did I do this one? Oh, I have this one here too. This is sort of Ravina's like henchman or what you call him.
Yeah, so that is the Evil Queen's one of her guards. Yeah.
And what are those on the headdress? Is it feathers or
They are feathers, yeah.
okay? Very,
I
very
also have
cool.
Hook. I must not have sent you pictures of him, but I have
Oh
Hook.
no.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna have you back
Next
because
time.
there's
Yeah.
next time. Okay,
Next
so
time, yeah.
did I do this one already? Oh yeah, we did that one. Okay, so why don't we're gonna do where are we here? We're gonna do Vikings and then we're gonna do Chronicles of Narnia and then we'll be done kind of thing. But anyway, I think this is going along. We're actually moving along really nicely here. I was
Hmm.
gonna say, hopefully this doesn't have to be a hi Mara. Hi Mara Jade. Mara Jade actually she messaged me on Instagram because I think I had the wrong date on one of my other live streams. So thank you so much. Um you know, I have this because I was telling you it's been so crazy lately. So let's go to
Hmm.
Vikings here. I don't know if Justin's here, but Justin's a huge Vikings fan. Now, Hunger Games again. This guy was in the Hunger
Yeah,
Games. He was in the
yeah,
movie, so very cool. But then he had a
yeah.
really
Alexander
fun Viking.
Ludwig. Yeah,
Yep.
so this piece
George
I actually
Farmer.
don't own myself.
Yeah.
I own it kind of with a friend. I had a friend of mine who got on board with opening up a film museum in Minneapolis here, and this piece went for far beyond my means at auction, and so he was very nice to be able to swoop in, and he got this piece for exhibition someday. So yeah.
It's stunning.
Hmm.
And
Yeah,
then
so this is Bjorn's main armor from season 3. So he
okay.
wears this throughout most of that season.
Okay. Next. This one is really incredible.
Yeah, so this is Vitzerk's armor. This is another son of Ragnar. And he wears this, I believe, in season 6, most of season 6.
I'm not sure how
It's
you do
very like samurai-esque,
Oh
which I
yeah.
think is really
Yeah,
interesting.
absolutely it is. Now just you know, I don't know how historically accurate this is, but I do just from some of my research, they did you know, the Vikings did travel quite a bit. So they did borrow a lot of
Yeah,
ideas from different
they did. Yeah. Well,
and
Joan Bergen, who's the costume designer on Vikings, did a lot of research on what they wore, but
then,
because it was so long ago, there's like no surviving like articles of clothing or anything like that. So they took a lot of liberties with the costume design.
oh yeah,
Um,
yeah, for sure. Like everything would have rotted away or what have you.
yeah, but
Uh,
it's interesting because you know, in my opinion, this show really changed how we as a society think about Vikings and how like
mhm.
they're portrayed. I feel like before this show came out, it was all like, you know, bearded guys with like horned helmets, you know, who are always drunk and so it's
I know. And then a lot of them are farmers.
yeah,
A lot of
yeah,
and a lot of the men did like the uh sort of the weaving and
yeah,
all that type of stuff as well,
yeah,
like what we would have traditionally called women's work. You
yeah.
yeah, they weren't always warring, they weren't always on a Viking.
Hmm.
So I've got okay, here's another one. This is
Ivar.
beautiful. Yeah, this is
Yeah.
beautiful. Like, I love his, like, they look like leg covers of some kind or, like,
He has like broken legs, like he's got a
oh, okay.
deformity. So these
Oh,
are
okay, sure.
his like I think they're called like
Braces?
clappers or
Okay,
braces. Yeah. Yeah. So
that's very cool to
really
have that whole
very cool. Yeah.
and then we've got, this is at La Gerta, I think is it La Gerta?
Yeah. Lagertha,
Justin
yeah.
and yeah, Justin loves this actress.
Yeah.
He has a big
Catherine
crush on her.
Winnick. Yeah.
Yeah, Catherine Winnick,
Yeah. Who doesn't?
yeah, she's stunning.
Yeah. This
I was gonna
armor
say
is
oh, yeah, go ahead.
iconic. Oh,
I
I
was
was
gonna
saying,
say
yeah.
when
Sorry.
I saw this armor, it reminded me there's, a tribe that uses this style of rings like that I've seen.
Oh, sure.
So sorry, go ahead, what were you gonna say?
I was just gonna say that this costume is just purely iconic. I mean,
Mhm.
there's like people who dress up as this costume for Halloween. So it's cool to have the real deal.
Yeah, and you ended up getting, like, were the pants, did you have to provide those? Or
So I didn't get the pants with this. I teamed up with a friend of mine and he got the pants. And I
oh,
kept the hard parts of the costume.
oh, amazing. So, but you got, like, the greaves, like, look at that, and like, the cuffs, the
Hmm.
breastplate, the greaves or shin guards,
Yeah.
whatever you wanna call them, like, the details on
Yeah.
those is
And
amazing.
so this shirt that she has on in this picture on the left here, this black shirt. So I bought that shirt 3 years before I got the armor, I
Okay.
believe, or 2 years or something like that. And I didn't realize until very recently because a cosplayer friend of mine had pointed it out. She cosplays this character, and this is the actual shirt that she wore with this costume.
Oh,
They ended
wow.
up just they dyed it. They dyed it in the later season,
Oh, no way,
um,
yeah.
from a purple to a black.
Okay.
So
So
yeah,
it is the correct shirt, it's just that
it
it
is.
changed. Yeah, and then you
Yeah,
also have, this one as well. I actually love this one. I think this is I don't know if I
yeah.
pronounced it correctly. I love
So,
this one.
yeah, this is Gunhild. So this is a pretty big character in the later seasons. This is
Mhm,
one of Bjorn's wives. Um, and yeah, the costume design on this is just phenomenal.
mhm.
And the leather work. I mean, my goodness, I've never seen anything quite like it. They really spared no expense
Yeah,
on the
and then
armors.
you've got these, sort of other I know you have more pieces, but you have these sort of
Hmm.
this I love this, the red cloak here. I don't know if
Yeah,
you wore
there's
that, but
another
that
Legatha.
oh, so beautiful.
Yeah, hmm,
Yeah, really,
it's
really
gorgeous.
gorgeous. Okay, so, how's everyone in the chat doing? Everyone's been kinda quiet. Oh, Milady says, "My favorite collection." Is that Milady, was that about the Anna Green Gables? We should try to figure out a way, like, now oh, by the way, before I move on, I wanted to remind everybody that William has a Facebook page. I've put a link in the description below. So you have a lot of these pictures on there, don't you?
I do, yeah. Yeah, so I created a Facebook page for the museum that I hope to open up here someday. It's nothing too official quite yet, but that's our goal is we really want to open up a film museum that focuses on fantasy films and TV series. We don't have anything like that in Minnesota here, and I think it would be really cool to get that up off the ground and have a new museum here. And it was really cool doing my first exhibit this year because it was my first time seeing other people in mass, like seeing my stuff for the first time, and just seeing everyone's like face light up, and people were crying, and it was really
Wow.
rewarding seeing that, because I've spent so long now pouring all of my heart and my finances into this dream, really,
Yeah.
of opening up a film museum. And it was the first time, like, actually, like, seeing people actually like want that to be a thing. So that was really cool.
I think it's such a great idea, and, like, even where I live in Canada, we don't have anything like that. I mean, at the,
Yeah.
like we have, there are costume collections, but just historical,
Yeah.
but there's nothing like, like I think Planet Hollywood at one point used to have maybe some
Yeah.
pieces and stuff, but there's really
Yeah.
nothing like that. So
There
hopefully
isn't.
once this video is done, maybe you can like go around trying to see if you can get a sponsor
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
uh, an angel or something to
So please, Angel, please come down from on high.
a benefactor.
Yeah, because at some point I'm gonna either have to move or I'm gonna have to open up a museum because my house is chock full of stuff now.
Exactly. Yeah. Okay, so we just have one more that we're gonna do, and that's the Chronicles of Narnia. And then
Hmm.
we'll just have to come, you have to come back because we just
Sure,
like my
yeah.
my slideshow is so full and packed that it's kicks me.
Yeah.
I just love this display. So this is from your exhibit
Thank
you did, I'm
you.
assuming, right?
Yeah, well, and I'm very creative
Yeah, I can
as you
tell.
can probably tell.
Mhm.
Um, so I wanted to do like a wintry kind of display with this because Narnia is such a wintry movie and it's such a Christmas movie. And I initially was going to put the kids in this kind of situation,
Mhm.
but gosh, the Minotaur just pops, doesn't he?
Oh,
In the snow
absolutely.
there. And
And
the
you even got the little
Minotaur,
trees in there and everything and the
I
faux
do,
snow, and it's so
yeah.
nice.
So
And the
the
signage.
paws that he has in this picture actually aren't his. They're
Okay.
actually the beast paws from the live action Beauty and the Beast movie, um,
Oh,
which is
okay.
kind of cool
Yeah, I love that
because
you
they
did that.
created yeah. But yeah, and then I have some centaurs there, some of their armor from the film.
It's very cool,
Um,
and then there's some close-ups I have that you shared with me. Yeah. Looks
yeah,
and then
yeah, just the
and then here's
detailing.
the kids. Um,
Yeah,
and then I have a close-up of some of the details, which this is what I love is all of the when you get to see the details in the
yeah,
costumes, sometimes they're missed in the show, right?
yeah,
So
for
beautiful.
sure.
These little kids.
A lot of really great detail there. And it's cool too, because I'm pretty sure I'm the only person that has this set of costumes from the films, which is really cool. This purple Susan dress is really rare. I've never seen another one, so it's cool to have that.
So
Because
maybe
she
it's
wears,
possible it's the only one.
yeah, it's highly possible. Yeah,
Yeah, and then here's the other one.
Lucy, yeah, her iconic little
Beautiful,
orange dress from the
beautiful
second movie.
trim on that
Yeah.
is gorgeous. Well, the fabrics and everything are just gorgeous.
Hmm. Yeah, those sleeves are like velvet. They're just so soft to the touch.
Oh, yeah, and then it looks like that's like a silk, like the body like the main part, the
It
bodice of the
is,
dress
yeah.
is silk.
Yeah.
Just beautiful. And then you've
Hmm.
got the armor and the
Yeah,
surcoats or whatever.
Peter's armor.
So nice.
Yeah.
I found this picture on
Yeah.
the left, which I was like, "Oh, this showcases it perfectly," you know?
Yeah. Yeah, and I loved Narnia as a kid. Narnia for me was like my Star Wars. I
Oh, of
just
course.
loved those movies
Mhm,
so much because there's just peak fantasy.
mhm,
We haven't really quite had anything so fantastical since the Narnia films.
mhm.
So all the creatures and all of the world building, they just did a phenomenal job. So for me, like finding this costume, Peter's costume, like his battle armor was just insane. And the fact that I was able to add it to my collection was just
Mhm.
crazy. I mean, because like that's my childhood right there. I
And I was
watched
gonna
that
say
movie so much.
that mail, it's like a riveted mail. It's like a really, really well done set of mail. Like, it's not like
It
you
is.
sometimes see, like, costumey chain mail. This
Yeah.
looks like
Well,
real mail.
it's actually not. It's 3D printed.
You're
Yeah.
kidding.
Yeah.
That's
It's all fake.
amazing. That's
Yeah.
amazing. 'Cause it looks so real, like, even in your
I know.
pictures. Like, I'm
Yeah.
looking at it, and it looks like real mail.
I know.
That's
Yeah.
so
It's
cool.
about like 20 pounds lighter than actual chainmail.
And, the surcoats, the red surcoats, they look like they're embroidered? Or isn't it
They
are they
are.
velvet?
They are. Yep. They are embroidered. Yeah.
Very
And
very beautiful.
it's velvet. Yeah.
And here's like a
So
detail. Oh, there's the mail there.
yeah.
Um, and then the buckles and everything is just so gorgeous.
hmm
Yeah,
So
that's
many
an
hidden
amazing.
details.
Oh, absolutely. Who was the designer on that? Do you know offhand?
Her name is Oh goodness, I know her name. Her name is God. I want to say Suzanne Collins, but that's not it. Um, Gosh, she's the designer on Wheel of Time. I know that. If you know,
Well, I love her costumes on that show, so that's very cool.
yes,
Do Now
uh,
you were saying that have you watched, his Dark Materials? I'm just wondering
I
if
have.
if
Yeah,
you like that one since it's the same author, I believe?
it's not the same
Oh, it's
author.
not? Okay.
It's not. They're both. I also well, yeah. It's kind of like the anti Narnia,
Oh,
actually,
okay.
which I think is really funny.
It's more of like
Uh,
a dystopian type of thing
oh,
or,
Isis Musundan. That's her
oh,
name.
okay,
Sorry,
okay.
that's
Well, that's not
yeah.
exactly an easy name to just remember off the top of your head.
No, it's not. I don't know
And I
why that
should
just
know.
loaded, but it did.
It's just I mean, if I had looked it up. If I had well,
Yeah,
next time I'll look these things up ahead of time.
sure.
Um, because, I was saying that you've been super busy with, work and
Yeah,
everything.
yeah.
Anyway, well, that's all the pictures I have to show. I'm actually pretty blown away that we got through all of those so quickly. I was like, "Oh my gosh, we're gonna be here for hours."
I
Um,
know.
so, what are you hoping like, you're hoping to open up a museum, like,
Hmm.
are you doing any kind of research into how that would work? Or have you thought about
No,
doing okay.
I mean, it's still early days for me.
Mhm,
I mean, I think, I would really love to still focus a bit more on the asset collecting
mhm,
for the museum because I have a lot of stuff, but I don't have a lot of like really like big things quite yet. Like I'm getting there, but I feel like I still need a few more years of just collecting. And then it's gonna be trying to find a sponsor or a business partner to try and get that
mhm.
started. I mean, if that happens sooner, I'm not gonna complain, but
Or even
um,
maybe the city of Minneapolis, maybe you could approach the
yeah,
city about
maybe,
helping
yeah,
you. They could maybe get you a space or whatever.
yeah, probably.
Mhm,
It's a very daunting thing because I'm not a business person at all. Like I'm very much a creative.
mhm.
I don't know if you know,
You need the person to do the business part, and then you could I mean, obviously,
yeah,
you've got that natural talent
yeah,
to curate,
hmm,
you have that you're already doing it. You're curating
yeah,
already, right? And you don't even have a
yeah,
background in
basically, yeah.
styling. So you've already got that natural ability, the fact
Mhm.
that you've done all your own artwork and your own signage, and did you have to rent or borrow, like, stanchions or whatever those velvet ropes are called?
I
To
own a
carry
bunch of stanchions
Oh, you
myself.
do?
I
No
bought a
way,
bunch.
really?
Yeah.
Did you get
Yeah.
them from, like, a
Well,
bank or something? Or it's like every time I go in a bank,
no,
there's, like,
I know.
stanchions.
No, I got them. So there's a website called KBid that will auction a lot of stuff off, like
Oh, okay.
randomly.
Oh,
And I
sure,
found them on
okay.
KBid. Yeah.
Oh,
So,
okay, great. Yeah, so you're able to sort of come up with these displays. Because I was just
yeah,
thinking, especially, during the holidays, this would be an amazing thing,
huge.
and
Yeah.
for
I pitch it
you
to
know
so many people, Heidi, and it's always, oh, maybe next year or no, or I
Oh,
just don't hear back from anyone, which is just kind of crazy.
yeah,
So
sometimes it takes a while, like, it takes like,
it does, yeah.
Stephen King, he didn't sell his first book, like,
Yeah.
it took him multiple attempts, so I know
Yeah.
it's gonna happen for you. You're already halfway there. You've got the passion, you've got like a good chunk of a collection, and you've got the skills. So yeah, you need someone maybe who can handle with the business part and maybe some
Hmm.
money. You need some money,
Yeah.
some seed
Money
money.
would be nice.
Yeah, money
Yeah.
would be nice. Well, anyway, is there anything else you want to tell everyone before we close up the stream?
I don't think so. Does anyone have any questions for me
Yeah,
at
are there any
all?
questions? Everyone's being very quiet. Um, I was also gonna say, so also, like, I've got William's bio in the description, but also his Facebook page. We've got a link to that. Are you on Instagram at all? Are you
I
on
am
any
on
other Oh, you
Instagram.
are? Okay,
Yeah,
well,
I
I'll
am.
get that
Yeah,
from you and I can add that. Do you have a
sure.
YouTube channel?
I do have a YouTube channel. My YouTube channel is Royal Fashions. It's less to do with the museum stuff right now. It's mostly just my personal stuff, but I'll post a lot of footage from my photo shoots and like art projects and stuff on there. So,
Milady says, "What's going to be the next photo shoot?"
ooh, we just finished our really big Viking shoot last weekend, which was 130-person shoot that I costume, which was kind of insane. So
Wow,
I
that's
need
so
a little
cool.
downtime right now.
Yeah.
But
Well,
the next one will probably be and we'll do a little Viking one in January probably or
okay. So
February.
Milady also asks, "What's your favorite collection?"
Mm, of what I own so far.
I think so. Yes,
Oh gosh, I mean, how do you choose your favorite child? You know what I mean? It's
absolutely.
like
Yeah, I can tell you
hard.
mine. No, I'm kidding.
Uh, I would say, gosh, I don't know. I would say probably the Narnia kids, just because
Mhm.
like I love those movies so much. I mean, but it's hard too because like I love Anne and I love Harry Potter, you know, so and Maleficent, obviously. I
Yeah.
would say this collection right here, right behind me, these
Okay. Yeah, you put your
six
favorites
or whatever.
there.
Yeah,
And they probably change all the time too, right? Like, like
they
one day,
do.
"Oh,
I'm
I like this
yeah.
one this way." Mara J asks, "What are your 3 next acquisition hopes?" Those are great questions, guys.
Ooh, that is a really great question,
Mhm.
Mara.
Yeah, are you keeping an
So
eye out for anything on the auctions?
I am. So I uh would love to acquire something from the Umbrella Academy. I would love to get the spare or the not the sparrows, but the kids from that kind of like their blazers. I think that would be
Mhm.
really
I
cool.
should ask, Christopher maybe if he knows where they kind
Oh,
of
yes,
now
please.
they now maybe it won't until the show wraps. Maybe they'll hold on to
There
them.
is some stuff trickling out, but I
Okay.
think that they're
Okay.
holding on to some
Mhm.
things until the last season comes out. Um, and Westworlds, I would love to get one of Dolores's blue dresses. Like
Yes.
I'm manifesting that. I don't know how it's gonna happen, but I'm gonna get one of her blue dresses.
Yeah,
Gosh,
I was telling you because, like, I was chatting with Anne Crabtree,
yeah.
and it was funny because we were doing this interview about the Changeling, and we just kept going off on these other tangents. So
Yeah.
we got onto, like, this one long tangent about Westworld. So what happened with her
Hmm.
is Trish Somerville did the first episode, the pilot, and then Anne
Hmm.
came in and did the second episode and the rest of the season. So she said when she arrived that Trish had found, like, this vintage fabric for Dolores,
Mm.
and there was only, like, maybe 12 yards or something. I can't remember exactly how much there was. So she said she didn't know what to do, so they ended up 3D printing it, the rest of the
Oh
fabric.
wow.
Yeah,
Interesting.
and then her and I were having this discussion. I said to her, because she had Williams jacket fabric made at this like mill up in New York State. And then I said, "Oh, but didn't the lady who didn't the lady who owned the mill, didn't she go to college with Ed Harris?" And she's like, "Oh, I don't think so." And I said, "Well, I'm pretty sure you said that in an interview." So we're just like we were just going off on a tangent. So I have to take that part out. But I'm gonna make a little separate video of her chatting about the Westworld. So anyway, absolutely agree. Dolores would be a
Yeah.
fantastic acquisition.
Yeah. Oh, for
Um,
sure. And then of
so
course Outlander. I have
yeah,
to get something from Outlander. Like I don't know if you've done any videos on Outlander
I
costumes,
have.
but
Yes, I
God,
have.
some of her
At least
Paris
posted. Oh,
costumes.
yes, absolutely stunning for
Mhm.
sure. What is the wait? This is Milady again. What is the next movie or TV series you're trying to get? I guess we were sort of chatting about that already.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, and then Milady says, Anne and once are my faves. Tatiana said it would be amazing to get some Lord of the Rings stuff.
It
Are you?
would.
Is there
Lord of the
anything out
Rings,
there?
I have never once seen a costume piece from Lord of the Rings ever pop up.
Mhm.
I my guess is that most of them are in Warner Brothers archives, but I've never seen them display them. So it's possible that they just got destroyed after the film
Oh, that'd
ended.
be awful.
I
There
think
was a
that
touring exhibit at one point, I think, though.
oh sure. I mean,
Uh,
yeah, I
I
mean I've never seen anything.
I was gonna say something though that Anne so when I interviewed Anne with an E, Anne, costume designer, she just did
Yeah.
this movie with Viggo Mortensen, and I know that he has the sword.
He
in a
does.
large
Yeah, I did
sword.
see that. Yeah, and
So it
I
yeah, so the
know.
sword was
Who?
used they used it in the movie in this movie that she
Yeah.
just did, The Dead Don't Hurt. So
Oh, that's cool.
I thought that was really cool. Yeah, so I know he has so I don't know if maybe someone in
Yeah.
the past ended up with
Well,
their outfit?
you know they did. I saw an interview on Stephen Colbert where oh goodness, I'm gonna go to hell for this. What's her name? Who played Arwen?
Oh, Liv.
Liv Tyler. Liv Tyler
Tyler?
has her
Yeah.
swords.
Oh, she
Yeah,
does, okay.
she does. But all the costumes, I have no idea what happened to the costumes. The
Mhm.
props, I know like Weta has a lot of the props and stuff. It's so interesting, because sometimes things will just disappear, into thin air, and I don't know where things go. Like I would love to own something from Merlin, the TV series Merlin.
Oh, that was a really good
Um,
show.
it was so good, but those costumes just disappeared. I don't know where they went. There's no trace of them.
There's
I've
a
hunted.
person who does this Instagram person who all they do is it's called recycled costumes. It's actually
Hmm.
very cool. And she shows, or maybe it's a he, that like every time a costume is reused. And I think like for instance,
Oh,
I
I've
think
seen that. Yeah,
so the
I've seen that. Yeah.
BBC, for instance, used to have a massive collection of
Yeah.
costumes and they ended up going to Angels. So it's possible they just kind of get recycled and put back into
Yeah,
stock or
they
something
do.
maybe.
The period
Um,
stuff always does usually, yeah.
yeah,
So I'm
so
sure that's what happened.
I was surprised actually to see some like, for instance, the Tudors, for instance, I know a lot of that came out of
Yeah,
the BBC collection.
yeah.
Uh, Tatiana is saying, "What about Stranger Things? Are you into that at all, that
Stranger,
show?"
I would love to acquire some things from Stranger Things, but
Mhm,
nothing's been released yet because season 5 is not out yet.
sure.
I have seen some things pop up in private hands. But I think after the show ends, I think there'll probably be a big auction, probably with Prop Store.
Mhm, and,
Because Prop Store got the Lemony Snicket stuff, so if they got that, I'm sure they'll probably get the Stranger Things stuff.
yeah, Mara J says, "So pieces from Umbrella Academy, Westworld, Outlander. Thank you for responding." And Milady says that Merlin would be amazing. Yeah, I agree.
Milady is actually my best friend.
Oh, really? Well, and I love her
Hi,
name.
Michelle. Yeah, yeah,
Milady.
she's great.
Milady. Well,
Me and her, we actually went to Europe last year, and we went to the castle where they filmed Merlin in, and that was really cool.
oh, that is so cool. Yeah,
Hmm.
and isn't, what's the actress who's in that? Eva Green, is she in that? I feel like
No,
Eva
she
Green
was
is
in
familiar.
Camelot.
Camelot, that's
Yeah,
it, yes. Okay.
yeah. The
Yeah, so
one
I'm gonna
season.
definitely send you a link later tomorrow. I'm gonna send you a link to this site that I go and get all my really high res pictures because they have pretty much a
Sure.
lot of those shows there. And then if you ever need to, print a picture with one of your costumes or what have you.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Well, anyway, so William, I hopefully you felt comfortable and
Yeah,
welcomed and you didn't feel
yeah,
nervous. Like I
definitely.
know at the beginning we were chatting. So, and you have a wonderful setup, and I really appreciate you
Thank
putting all
you.
the work into it and sending me all the pictures.
Yeah, of
There were so
course.
many. Uh,
Thanks for
you
having me
should,
on.
oh, my pleasure. And thank you so much. Would you think you would might come back again?
Oh, I would love to.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's so great. Okay, we'll have to plan something then, and then we can
yeah,
maybe, I don't know, because I know we covered a lot of costumes, but maybe we can do some ones
yeah,
that we didn't cover this time.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
We can bring back the, the iconic ones, but maybe,
yeah. Sure.
we wanna feature some new ones, and also because you're
Yeah,
getting stuff in all the time, so that's
I
very cool.
am. Yeah, the next, I'm trying to think of the next big thing that I'm working on. Goodness. I'm getting you've seen Hook, right? Who hasn't seen
Uh,
Hook?
oh, the original Hook? Like the one with Robin
Yeah,
Williams? Yes,
yeah.
or Dustin
Do you
Hoffman?
remember Thudbutt? Like the black kid who like turns into a ball and rolls down the thing.
No.
Oh, really? He's like the chunkier one.
Okay. It was
He-
honestly, it's been years though. It's been
oh,
like
well,
it's been
sure.
many years for me since I've
Well,
seen
I'm
it.
getting his costumes. That's
Oh,
pretty
that
big.
sounds like really fun though.
Yeah.
And also, so fantasy is obviously your big thing, but is there any
Mhm.
other genre besides fantasy that you kind of like? Like, do you like sci-fi or do you like?
I'm a big period person. Like I
Oh,
love
okay.
period pieces.
So maybe
You
eventually
know,
you might want to get something from The Great. Well,
The
you were saying
great, yes,
the
the
Outlander.
costume, Kaidi, the great costumes. Oh my God, they're just gorgeous. I
I
would just
know.
die to have something. There was also a show called Harlots that just, I don't know if you ever
Oh,
watched that,
yes. Yes, amazing
but gosh,
costumes.
oh gosh, yeah. And again, those just went into, I think they got recycled.
I
But
saw
so
some of the
periods,
Harlot ones in that recycled costumes Instagram,
oh
yeah.
really?
I'm pretty
It's
sure
so
I did.
sad because it's just like, I would love to highlight those and put those on display. It's sad that they get reused.
I
Um,
know, and then, sometimes they deconstruct them and stuff
they
too, and then they make them
do,
into something
yeah.
else, which I guess is
I saw,
upcycling. Hi,
yeah.
Extra Life.
There's a movie that I really love called Snowy and the Huntsman, and I just love that was a Michelle Clapton, I think, who did the costume design on that.
Oh, it's Colleen Atwood,
Or
I think.
Colleen Atwood, that's what I meant. Yeah.
Yeah, no, amazing
Um,
costumes.
this
Yes.
is gorgeous, gorgeous. But they recycled all of those, and there was
You're
a
kidding.
skit that had Kim Kardashian in it on James Corden a couple years ago, and she was wearing one of Charlize Theron's costumes from that movie that she somehow rented out from Universal. And
Well,
then
yeah.
they use one of Snow White's costumes from that film in one of the later seasons in Once Upon a Time, and they
Oh,
deconstructed it and they changed
okay.
a lot about the costume, which I just found
Mm.
so infuriating because I'd love to have it in my collection. Don't destroy it. Let me have it.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Tatiana's saying, look into Black Sails. Well, so William has one piece from Black Sails, but you were saying that those ones don't come up for auction very often,
They
right?
don't.
Because
And I
Tatiana will send the
love Black
picture.
Sails so much. But there's two collectors in the collecting world who only collect Black Sails stuff. And
Yes.
unfortunately,
Yeah.
they have like the lion's share of stuff. I
Okay.
did just get in a second costume from Black Sails
Oh, you
from a
did.
friend of mine. I did, but it's a character named Adele, and she wears this dress in like 3 seconds in the very last episode. So I didn't send it to you, but I do technically now own two of the
Yeah.
characters from that
Um,
show, and I hope to
Malay
add more.
Malady's saying you should get something local like Little House on the Prairie. I love Little House on the Prairie. Like
Little
I
House on the Prairie would be cool because there's a lot of connections here in Minnesota with that.
absolutely, that's what I
Uh,
was gonna say. And,
yeah,
I don't
but
like, I
it's
mean, I'm wondering if, the actress who played, Laura Ingalls, she might have ended up with some pieces.
she might have done. Yeah, I mean that makes sense, but it's so old now. I mean, trying to
It
find
is.
anything from that would just be so hard. And
Yeah.
honestly, I doubt that much survived, to be honest with you. I mean,
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Like, I used to work years ago when I was just coming out of college. I worked in a costume house, and we had stuff in
mm,
there that was just rotting. It
yeah.
had been from
Well,
the '60s, and it was just like you would just go it was just
yeah.
it was awful. So if it's not
What?
stored properly, it'll just rot.
Yeah. Well, and I know you spoke to Prop Store about the Leia dress, and that's kind of what happened with that. I mean, that was just stored in a bag for 40 years or something.
I know, and
Um,
then and Brandon had it, like, restored,
yeah,
so
yeah,
and I had heard this about actually Obi-Wan's cloak as well, had been at Angels in
sure.
London as well. They didn't even know, and then one day someone found it and went, "Hey, Alec Guinness's name is in this," right? But
Hmm.
that was supposed to be kinda rough looking anyway, but Leia's dress was supposed to be pristine and white, so
Yeah,
they had to do a lot of like, it was filthy apparently, and they had to
yeah,
so I was really happy to see that they restored that. That's one of the
yeah.
things that I think some of the auction houses, they do a really great job of, curating
Restoring
and
stuff. Yeah,
restoring, and also and I
yeah.
know, like
I was
sorry, go
very
ahead.
surprised that that didn't sell. It didn't sell at
Oh,
auction.
it
I
didn't
mean,
sell at auction?
no, I mean the starting bid was $1 million, so
Oh,
but
yeah. If I had a
so
million, I would
iconic.
have bought it For sure I would have.
So, yeah, yeah.
It would have been worth it, but I don't have a million. But the, no, for instance, I know like the Gone with the Wind dresses, they've been, there's actually a David O. Selznick, collection that they have a lot of the
Sure.
Gone with the Wind dresses. And then sadly, the dresses are in terrible shape. So the
Yeah,
green one, for instance, they've just done the best to, stop it from getting any worse than it
yeah,
is. That's because there's nothing we
yeah,
can really do. So this is what's going to
yeah.
happen with some of these pieces. Like if
Hmm.
they're stored,
Yeah,
incorrectly or
yeah,
but that's
for
what
sure.
happened. That's what happened in our in our wardrobe house is that I think it was just over the years, light
Yeah,
damage. They
yeah.
weren't like the guy who had owned the place before. Oh my God, I would get so mad. He would store things on wire hangers. I was kind of like, I felt like what's her name from Mommy Dearest, like, what's with the wire hangers, and then he would put like straight pins in them so that they would be all
Yeah,
rusted. And I was like, oh
yeah,
my God, like you're destroying these outfits. So it was really,
yeah.
really sad. But anyway, any more questions, guys? Great questions from this group for you. Well, we're gonna have William back again. So maybe what we'll do is we'll touch base in a little bit, maybe around the holidays or
Sure,
something. We could have you on, do a little
sure.
holiday, like,
Yeah,
a Christmas
holiday
holidays,
stream.
snowy. Yeah, we'll do a holiday stream.
Yeah,
Do some of the Narnia stuff.
yeah. I wish I had more Christmas costumes, but not yet, not yet.
Yeah, maybe you'll get something from, like Elf or, I've seen some of those things go up for
Uh
auction.
yeah, it's on my list of things to acquire.
Mhm.
I would never be able to get his costume because that sold for like $250,000.
Crazy.
But I would love to get like one of the like, background elves.
Mhm.
I was bidding on one a couple of years ago that was like not really seen on screen. I was like, oh, this will go cheap, and it sold for like 7,000. So,
Wow.
but
Yeah,
it's
I like the ones with like some of them have like little silver snowflakes on them or little pom-poms. I love little
yeah,
pom-poms.
yeah. When
Yeah.
my favorite Christmas movie as a kid was Rudolph.
Oh,
So
okay,
instantly
yes.
when I saw that movie, I was like, oh my God, it's live action Rudolph without Rudolph.
It is. You know that
Uh,
they got I actually, they got in trouble with the
they
lawyers on account
did.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. So that was really I thought that was really, really interesting because
yeah,
on if you go to IMDb, it says that they got the rights, but no, they didn't. And they actually had to
yeah,
change the costumes so that they weren't
yeah,
exactly like it.
yeah.
So, no, but that was
So
one of my favorite movies too as a kid. So,
yeah, Will's Ferrell, like his blue version of his main costume actually came across my desk, as they say, a couple weeks ago,
oh, is that
and
the one
sold
when
at
they're playing
auction.
is that when they're playing hockey? What was the blue one?
No, he never. That was the alternate version that they made in case they couldn't win
Oh.
the case. They made a
Oh,
blue
oh,
version.
okay. Oh, sure, okay, yeah,
Yeah,
because I know that the costume designer was saying, like, they were scrambling, like, it was just
yeah,
awful, you know?
yeah. They dyed it blue. Yeah,
Oh, okay, okay, yeah, but yeah, really, you share a name with Will Ferrell, he's obligated
I do.
to share the elf costume with you. Exactly,
He
that's
is.
very
Come
nice.
on, Will.
Yeah, I know. Okay, well, we're gonna let you guys go because we've been here almost a couple hours, and we're definitely gonna have William back, and I think we'll do a fun holiday stream. That will be really nice. We could do eggnog or something, or
Yeah, that'd be
cocktail.
cute. Look, I already
Yeah.
have my like my Santa cup ready to
Oh, it's
go
so
for the live
sweet.
stream.
Yes.
Yeah.
And and one more question I have for you. So what's it
Yeah.
like having all of these like
Things.
iconic costumes around you? It might like when you come home, like are you really
Yeah.
you're like, "Oh, I'm so happy to see you guys." Like or do you talk to
Yeah.
them?
I
Like I talk to my cat.
I I don't talk to them, but I definitely have when I'm sad, I may or may not have given Matthew and Marilla hugs,
Aw,
which is
that's
so
so
cute.
sweet.
I share a lot of similar backstory to Anne. I was a foster kid, and my
Oh,
childhood
wow.
was not the greatest, so I really kind of like took to those characters. Uh, but to answer your question, it's weird. It's really weird. I mean, I'm kind of numb to it now. I kind of have to live vicariously through new people who come through the house
Mhm.
for the first time. But there are moments where I just kind of sit and I'm just like, how did I do this? Like, this is insane because it's only been 4.5 years since I started collecting stuff. And so it is really bizarre to kind of like look around my house and see all of these like iconic relics of some of my favorite films and TV shows. It's so weird. Um,
I have to
you
tell you
know, and
something.
it's
This is terrible. Like if I got like
sure.
Alexander Skarsgård's shirt, I'd probably be smelling it. I'd probably be like,
Oh, I definitely did that
I'd
with
be like,
Peter when he got here for sure, and Charming
oh
and
yeah, I would. Okay,
Aragon
so it's not just
and
me. Yeah,
yeah,
I'd be like, I want to,
well,
I want.
it's really weird because so Aragon and Peter from Narnia and also
Thanks
Jeremy
for birthday.
Sumter here, they were like my first like crushes when I was like, growing up. So like it's so
Mhm.
weird to like, have them in my house now. And it's
I
really
know.
cool and
Yeah, I would probably be like putting on Alexander Skarsgård's shirt and walking around the house with
yeah,
it,
yeah,
smelling
for
it.
sure.
I'd be like, the creepy stalker girlfriend.
It's funny because like I said earlier, I have Hook's costume from Once Upon a Time, and
Mhm.
I wasn't that big on Hook myself. I was more,
Oh, I
a
loved Hook.
Charming
Yeah. Oh,
fan.
yeah,
Everyone,
I didn't have him. Oh, sorry, I didn't have him in here, but yeah, you have
that's
Hook.
okay. Next time. But every time that someone walks in the door, there's been multiple times where people have asked me if they can smell his shirt, and
So it's just
I,
a sort
I,
of a normal human. Can I ask you a
yeah,
question? Do they smell like anything?
sure.
Do they smell like leftover like cologne or deodorant or
No,
anything?
not really. I mean, because
Okay,
you got to think about it too. I mean, these costumes are stored for so long before
yeah,
they get sent to me.
for sure.
Sometimes like I'll get them straight from set, but there's 3 years between that
Mhm.
time that wherever I get them from gets them, and by the time they get to me.
And sometimes they might have
Um,
even have been cleaned, like maybe they might have
yeah,
been cleaned,
usually
right?
they do clean them.
Sure.
I mean,
Unless
I
it's like
think.
Katniss where you want to keep the blood and all the breakdown hair.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, and a lot of the stuff hasn't been worn since the actor wore it.
Mhm.
So that's cool, but I don't think I've gotten anything that has smelled in any particular way. I'm getting another costume from Spartacus soon, one of Navia's costumes. I just paid that off yesterday, actually. But I've been told that it still smells like her because
Oh,
she wore that thing to death in almost every episode in the third season. And is fighting away. So there's just so much sweat and dirt and blood
yeah.
that went into that costume. So that I'll let you know how it smells in December.
But we'll have to have some smell-o-vision. We'll have to do like
Yes,
a
yes,
smell-o-vision type of thing.
yeah,
Um,
yeah,
well, oh my gosh, William, this has been so much fun. I really enjoyed chatting with you and getting to
yeah.
know
Me
you
too.
and also everyone who's been here. Yeah, for sure we'll have you back. So everyone, thank you so much for joining us. Hopefully we'll have a live stream again soon. I will have my prop store auction interview out on the weekend. Like had to record it because they're in England. So in that we'll have Arya Stark's prop. What is it? What was it? Her stunt
Her needle.
sword, her stunt needle, which is so cool, right? And it's really tiny. It's so little. The person who we were interviewing, she was small too, so it was kind of like in proper proportion. So it was kind of, and she was British, so it was sort of like lovely. Okay, well, thanks so much, everyone. I hope you have a lovely evening and take care. Okay, bye now.
Yeah.
Bye. I'm putting William on
All right.
camera there. Okay, I'm gonna end it.
Okay.